and everybody's saying, how are you doing? I'm like, aye, fine. Bear in mind, at this point, I am heavily medicated, obviously, for the pain and all the rest of it. And I remember that, saying, aye, I'm fine, getting there, back feels great, no pain, this, that, and next thing. A few weeks in, first check-up, everyone was great. And then by the February, started to get pain back. It was obviously physio and trying to get moving and stuff like that. And one of the things is that the doctors kind of feeling like it's maybe just how much you're doing, because I was obviously keen to try and get back, because I'm now thinking I'm out of surgery, and really I want to start third year planning, start off where I was by the April, to run into the following February, March. So I was kind of keen to get well, and the amount of medication I was on wasn't allowing me to function well enough to be able to actually work, so I knew I needed to get off the medication. But obviously somebody had other plans, because by the March I was in so much pain, even with the amount of medication I was on, that I'd went up to 9 miles for a check-up, and they took bloods and stuff. And basically I had a serious spinal infection that required emergency surgery.
Wow.
So it was a case of, you might not walk again, sort of thing. Like, we need you in. You need to get this sorted out.
That must be something to hear from a medical professional.
Oh yeah, to know that I was going into 9 miles and my dad was dropping me off, and the first thing they were doing was prepping me for surgery instantly. And they're telling me that I might not walk again was even though I was so heavily medicated, it was still really frightening. I still remember that, being detached from myself through medication, but realising the severity of what was going on at the same time.
Do you think that was a way of coping with that? Almost, it's like...
I don't know. Because of the medication, so many times, I mean, my parents will tell you, they were obviously looking after me quite a lot of the time, and they've said a few times, the medication was frightening, because there'd be times I'd be sitting talking to you like this, and then I was awake, unconscious, like just sleeping, and you were so, some of the things I would say were just so out there. I mean, I've got text messages I've tried to send to people, I've got emails that I've tried to send to people that just make no sense. So that in itself was a frightening place to be, having somebody I've never really been keen on medication anyway, didn't have a hard time, but I'm not a big person on painkillers or whatever, so it was already a different world that I was in, and having points of consciousness, in the sense of knowing that I'm on it, but then times where I just didn't remember.
So if I'm right in saying that it's almost like there's a battle going on between your head, which is, I want to be doing my festival, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing that, I want to be sending emails, and your body is like, nah.
Cut it. No. And
rest.
I physically couldn't. Yeah,
rest.
Exactly. So whipped into the second surgery, cut away bits of muscle and whatever, just to try and get rid of the infection. And I come around a couple of days later, and had a massive thing in my arm, gone down to a big tap. Where was the tap? The tap was here, sorry. The tap was on my arm, and a thing going in my hand and needles, and it was a big tap thing. And basically they said that would be in for the next month at least. And it was like 2 or 3 times a week. After I got out of 9 miles, after a couple of weeks I got out of 9 miles, 2 or 3 times a week I had to go for Kirkcaldy to Queen Margaret. Obviously I couldn't drive. And I had to sit for an hour and the drip feed antibiotics into my body. So just make sure the infection was gone. So I mean, I already knew how lucky I was at the times of not so bad medication in my head. I already knew how lucky I was that I was still able to walk and all the rest of it. I mean, waking up and realising that I was still fine was great. But that obviously just blitzed my body as well. Kind of had nothing left, and I was on more medication as well. So by this point, in 2014, that's where my memory of 2014 is very, very little. So I was managing an act at the time before this, Tammy Miller. Somehow I still managed to control an element of that management, but a simple thing like was up. I got a lift up to a studio to run off all the copies of her CD that she was releasing at the time. The person had redone the studio, had extended the studio, and this, that, and the next thing. And it was 1.5 years later when I went and seen the studio, and I went, "Oh my God, look what you've done with the place!" And they're like, "You were here 1.5 years ago." And I have, like, that hole is blank, So I've got weeks, days, weeks, and whatever where I've just blank. 2014 is kind of gone. And then in the summer of 2014, again, due to all the medication, I took what probably would have been just a bad stomach bug to somebody else, and it hit me really, really severely. So I spent quite a few days vomiting and stuff like that, and trying to just keep fluids in me and stuff. But the point that we never realised, and I don't think my parents realised at the time as well, is that I'm not getting my medication into me. So I'm on a lot of opiates and stuff. You know, my body is going into withdrawal as well. So there was this whole shock factor going on in my body, like chemical thing. And the doctor came into me on whatever particular day, it was Friday, I'm sure. And basically, I was in and out of consciousness by this point. And I remember just having a conversation, basically saying to my dad, get him in the car, get him at the Vic, I've got it arranged, I'll be quicker than an ambulance, you know, follow me in sort of thing. So the next door neighbour and my dad have got me out of bed and threw me into the car and arrived at the hospital. Instantly people are around me, needles going in, whatever. And that was it, didn't remember anything.
So another moment. Yep,
completely gone. And it was a Tuesday, I remember. And basically the words were, if you hadn't come in on a Friday, you wouldn't have seen the Monday. Like, my body was starting to shut down with withdrawal and with the bug that I had. So, yeah. So within a space of 4-5 months, I went, oh, you might not walk again, and you might have not been here, while on all this medication.
So, looking back on that now, and you're here.
That's mental.
It's
it's mental.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in amongst that, I did have a marriage that had broken down. So I lost the marriage, lost my house, everything that comes with that as well. But never in a space to deal with it because of the medication. Never in a space to actually take it on board what's happened. You know, back living with the parents and all the rest of it, which was great. I mean, they looked after me brilliantly and it was fine. And it must have been a really difficult time for everybody around me because I'm so switched off to everything. So once we eventually got 2014 out of the way, you know, I'm back on my feet relatively, that's when they start speaking to me about getting me off medication. And that's like, right, okay, here we go. That'll be easy. But obviously, the whole withdrawal thing, so everything was taken off at different stages, it was lowered at different times, I was going through bouts of migraines.
Because your body's used to that.
Yeah, exactly, because you've become so dependent on them almost. And I think at some point in 2015, middle of 2015, I started to kind of, probably about, I say the middle, but probably April-ish, I remember the reality of everything that's happening now. And it's starting to kind of weigh on me, and I'm starting to overthink a lot of things, and I'm thinking, well, you know, what happens with my festival? You know, what happens with this? What happens with that? You know, you've lost 2 years now. And I got a phone call around about that time as well, and it was from a person in Inverness. I can't remember their name because I would name them if I could. And they were a promoter, and they were saying, we're about to launch a festival and we want you to be involved and all the rest of it. And I'm like, that's actually really good. You know, I'm going through all this. God, I've lost everything. Yeah. And suddenly somebody's offered me a job, and I'm like, that's brilliant. I'm coming into a place where I could do with that. Yeah. And asked for details on it, and they're like pretty cagey around the details, but they invited me to a meeting in Inverness. And basically the wee bit of detail I got out angered me more than it should have at the time.
Did it sound familiar?
Very familiar. So that was the thing, I was kind of like, damn it, like I might have lost my festival as well. I gave them the chance. I went up to Inverness and went into this meeting with them all, telling me how it's not the same as the MV festival. Totally not. It's we're putting Snowsports on, and we're going to have music on the hill, and then we're going to have one venue instead of having multiple, and we're going to do all this. And I was like, when is it? And it's bang at the same time as I am. It's in the same town. It's Aviemore, or just outside Aviemore. It's the same mountain and all that. And I'm like, how can you sit here to my face and tell me this is not the same thing? Because it's no, because you had comedy and you done it for charity. We are willing to make money out of this. And I was like, right, okay. So what do you need me for? Well, we want you to put the comedy lineup on for it.
That's very nice of them, isn't it?
And I'm like, nah, this is because you've just told me it's not like mine because of that. Nah, but you missed the last bit. The last bit is we're doing this to make money out of people. We're not doing this for charity like you were.
But so the nucleus of the idea,
it's mine.
Yeah, it's yours.
I said no, obviously there's no way I was doing that. So I come out of there, driving back down the A9,
You must have. What emotions were you feeling on that car journey on the way back?
Kind of a bit of anger, disappointment. That was the first of me realising there was probably quite a bit of mental health stuff going on, because I could have quite easily just kept driving when I found a cliff. You know, I was kind of in that mindset. The realisation that you've lost everything in a space of a couple of years. And the festival was such a huge thing. I mean, I'm not saying the marriage wasn't it, but you know, the festival had suddenly been taken, and I'd just come into the realisation of everything else that had happened as well. And a lot of people are like, oh, but they told you when they walk again, but you're walking again, so that's alright. But you still hadn't dealt with the emotion of, you know, I'm going to walk again. Or you might have not lived to see the Monday, but you did, so you're alright. But wait a minute, I still had that moment where that could have been.
I'm still trying to get that around my head.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still trying to process that.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, you know, here I am 6 months, 8 months down the line, starting to come back into actually feeling human again, and I'm having to process all this kind of stuff.
So the 2014, the year that's gone, it's almost like you're still living it at that time, because you're having to deal with it.
I feel like I'm still in 2013 by 2015, because there's so little that I remember in 2014 and everything that I've lost to get to 2015, that I went for 2013 when I went in for my op, where I had everything, just a routine operation, and now I'm in 2015 and I've got nothing. Lost the festival, lost the marriage, lost the house, nearly died, told I couldn't walk again. You know, friendships, you know, the things that you take for granted almost at times. Fair enough, people will say, well, they weren't true friendships because they never hung around. But people had to live their life as well. They had to go and live their life. They couldn't sit around and wait on me coming back to being me. You know, I was a burden to some people. And some people, oh, but that's still no friends. I'm like, but until you live in that, how much of your life can you truly give in to somebody who doesn't appreciate it because they're medicated, doesn't have a clue what effort you're going to because they're medicated, and in all essence doesn't really care, because I didn't care in that place. And now I'm out of the drugs or out of the medication, but I'm almost just as bad, because now I didn't care about myself, because I'm like, I've got nothing, you know what I mean? So I'm now burdened with this dark, just
guilt.
Just like
guilt.
Just leave me. And people are like, well, how did you get over like the people that were friends before and aren't friends now? I'm like, well, there was nothing for me to get over. You know, I very quickly grasp people have life. And there's the other thing is that sometimes people just don't know how bad the next person is, or they don't know what's going on, because again they don't talk. So
no, and it is a thing in our society that people find it very difficult to speak. Very difficult to speak, especially men. I don't know if that's totally that's true. Something that you'd agree with.
No, I totally agree with that.
In recent events, recent events are
it's much more in our face.
So you're here today.
Yes.
If there was anyone in a similar place, is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Just never keep looking forward. Forget about what's behind you. It's the hardest thing that we do. It's the worst thing that we do. We always look behind, because we can't change what's happened. We can change what's going to happen, but we can't change what's happened. For me, it's just always kind of looking to the future, looking forward. Things will always get better. What was that, Daydream, wasn't it? He sung that in the 90s. Things will always get better.
It's true.
And it is true, but also, like, I understand that that's obviously, not everybody can do that, and it's not as easy as that sometimes. Sometimes it's hard just to get up in the morning for some people.
Absolutely,
I get that. But and when somebody's truly, I mean, I was never ever diagnosed with depression. You know, and like being true depression, you know, you need medication, you need a lot of help and a lot of support. That ability to just find something about you that'll keep you going is sometimes the hardest thing. And I think just trying to forget about you, I think is a thing, is don't try and find something that's good about you. Try and find somebody that's good for you, in the sense that everybody, no matter how bad they feel about themselves and how worthless they think they are, there's at least one person that will listen. There's always at least one person that will be there. And I think that's, like, for me, I would always say try and reach out to other people. It could be a stranger. It doesn't need to be somebody you know.